Back to another video. Today we'll be doing some more ranked. Draft was pretty weird. I think we had first pick Kenji. He's trying out the new hypercharge, I guess. And then I went Lumi, and my teammate goes Frank. And I think they went like Jackie last pick, and Duke Gale first too. Anyway, we got Lumi though, and Frank goes for a nice wall break. We do go down to the Jackie. Lumi's pretty solid on this map because her gadget will provide you vision. She did get the nerf to her health, so we're seeing how it affects her. Frank gets a nice stun off. I sneak one of the kills from him. Sorry, Frank. And I take down the Gale though. And get a nice gadget off. Wow. That was like a perfect gadget. I go to help the Kenji take care of the Jackie. Not sure what this Doug is doing. He's just running it down into me, and there's no way he can attack me when I have a slow. Gale misses his stun onto the Frank, and we take him down. Jackie goes down. Duke also, he gets AoE too hard. We go for a kill onto the super behind the wall, and Gale just kind of gives up here. Like he knows Lumi is just way too broken, and they let us get Kenji. Like Lumi into tanks, it's such a free matchup. Let's head into the next one. Here we are in the next one. We honestly got a pretty free matchup. Two tanks with Lumi, so broken. We get some nice AoE denial and vision on them with our gadget. Kenji just barely banks those. Frank gets a nice stun with those 4 trash. Gale goes for the stun. Frank goes down. Get the slow onto the Jackie, but completely whiff those shots. Whiffing so many, but we get some great slows off. I'm not sure where our shots are going, but we get some crazy value on the Gale and Jackie and more than make up for it. Lumi is just so broken into tanks, guys. And their mental is just gone right now. Like I don't know what they're doing. The wall is broken up. Like I could probably 1v3 them now. And now we're just kind of having fun, honestly. Like I just sit here and Gale goes for the slow, and he goes for a thumbs down, but like we just easily won this. Like they had terrible draft. Dude, would have been an okay first pick, but then Gale and Jackie on top of that, I just threw the game for them. And we go like 10-2, even after we trolled. Pretty free game. Let's head into another one. Here we are in the next one. Draft was pretty weird. They went Carl, and then we went Tara Dynamite, and they went Macy Colt. Pretty poor draft by the Dynamite first pick, and I'm not too happy with him either, just sitting in the corner, holding his gadget. Bad draft, bad gameplay. Any good players don't fall for that. But it seems like we're not against good players because he's, landing his gadgets, landing his supers, so all is forgiven. Colt goes for the wall breaks, kind of stop Dynamite, and we juke his shots like crazy and get tons of shots off. Let's actually follow me, get some nice shots off and a slow onto the Macy and hit onto the Carl. Carl's just kind of destroying my team. Tara should be able to deal with him pretty easily. Dynamite might struggle, but Dynamite also struggles more. I have insane pressure here, holding against both of them while they're trying to pinch me. But not sure what my team is doing in the meantime. They go for a big wall break, and I'm juking so many shots. Like, Carl can't land shots. I dodge all of these shots in Colt. I gain some insane pressure, kill 2 enemies, get my hypercharge. And this is like a free goal right here, but Tara messes it up. Tara could have just bounced it off the leftmost wall and scored instead of walking up and got killed by the Macy. Or she could have just scored that, but she throws. Dynamite goes down to the Cult. We take the Carl in exchange. And Macy's just whiffing so many shots. We don't even bother attacking Macy because she's just missing all her shots. And take down the Cult instead. I have insane pressure for my team. I get a slow onto the Cult. Take him down here. Get the Macy low, and my teammates, they're getting 2v1 by the Carl. Dynamite goes for a wall break, very nice. Tara, she's not passing me the ball for an open goal, but it's whatever. I had to go for a super shot here because I didn't have any ammo, which was kind of a waste, but it's whatever. Get some nice taps onto the Macy. She's just barely alive, but we do take her down. Try to take down this Carl, but I end up missing a lot of my shots. And Tara misses her hypercharge super. Dynamite gets 2 tap. My teammates are playing so badly there. But we win, so it's whatever. Let's head into the next one. Alright guys, here we are in the next one. Hopefully we don't have to carry as hard. Dynamite goes for the same old stun trick again. Like no good player falls for this. And we do get some nice pressure with the gadgets. Nobody can really go mid because Carl Fire and Squeak slow. But we get a kill and we look to push up. Get a kill onto the Carl here. Land some shots on the Colt. I go for a super shot. Honestly, I missed the left side. I thought the Colt would go left. And Macy would go left, so I couldn't score. And I looked to get value and kill the Colt. But they made the dumb move, or I guess a smart move, by not doing that. Which would have let me do a free goal if I actually did shoot left. But Dynamite goes down, and this isn't looking good. This is looking like a goal for them once Carl gets the ball, but he doesn't walk up to grab the ball from the Colt pass. And Dynamite gets a clear off and a kill onto the Carl to stop them from goaling. Carl trolled so hard there, that was terribly played. I'm juking tons of shots, got the slow on the Macy. She's looking for her super. Macy fails her super because I killed her, and Tara misses her super on the Macy. It's like her 4th super she's missed. I don't know if she's made a single super so far. Dynamite goes for a hypercharge. I like to pass up the ball for our team to score because they hypercharge. But Dynamite kind of wastes it, and I get insane value. I get the Carl slowed, free kill. I kill the Macy, pressure on the Colt, but our team just kind of, I don't know where they went. Tara does have hypercharge though, so it's not looking too bad. I get a nice kill onto the Carl, force Macy to use her dash. Juking tons of shots here, like Macy just missing all her shots, dodging all of the Colt shots. But we do go down from the pinch walking up. Tara wastes her hypercharge super again. Thank you, Tara. Very cool. Again, we get some pressure. Macy jukes inward while her team's gone, and the slow stops her from walking back. So this is a free kill here. But Tara doesn't want to pinch again, I guess. Juking tons of shots as usual. And we're getting tons of value here, getting tons of kills. 2 kills, slow onto the Carl. This should be a goal right here. But, Carl supers and Tara supers him out of his super into Dynamite's super shot, which stops us from scoring the free goal. So the 1 super Tara lands, it stops us from scoring and, loses the game. Pretty much, I hypercharge. I'm juking tons of shots, dodge the hypercharge super, get my hypercharge super, get kills, tons of pressure. This is looking great. Tara goes for her hypercharge super, and this is an open goal, and we get the win. That was pretty terribly played at the end, whiffed a ton. But we, 17-6, twice as much damage as my team, juking tons of shots, all the pressure, not bad. Anyway, let's head into the next one. Alright guys, here we are in the next one. Draft was actually pretty decent, except for the Edgar pick. We went with the first pick, Mr. P, kind of bad. They went with Janet, Carl. We went with Kenji Mo, and they last picked Edgar. Kenji, he got his hypercharge, so a lot of people are playing him now. I still don't think he's that great. If you go counters to him, he just won't get his super and he'll feed. But if you don't go counters like Carl Janet, he does get tons of value. So I guess he is good in that sense. Carl gets a good double kill on us. But Mr. P is here to clean up. Mr. P, he could have easily gotten the kill onto the Edgar if he just stayed close for an auto aim kill. But instead, he lets them walk away with 4 gems. But Kenji's playing like pretty nice. He gets a super already. They don't super out. Not sure what this Janet's doing. I know that even if I kill the Edgar and grab the gems, I probably won't get out because I don't have super. So I just look to, hold position. They go for a kill onto the Mr. P. He walks back to leave the gems in our base. And I'm thinking about going for a kill on this Edgar because he can jump out. But when I get close enough, it's hard to react that quick. We're kind of pinched, so it's going good. But Janet misses all her shots. Like, that's absolutely whiffing. I super out to dodge the final Janet shot. And this is looking like a free wing, except Edgar gets his super and kills me and grabs all the gems. Kenji, I think he was scared of feeding Edgar a super to walk out, but instead he ends up doing that anyway. I walk up to get the Edgar, but Janet grabs enough gems to start countdown. This isn't looking too good. Honestly, Janet has fly and she's out. We look for a kill onto the Janet because Edgar can jump out. And I lagged out there, not sure why. Kenji does get the kill, doesn't get out though. I supered onto the Janet and couldn't kill her. Usually there's a knockback and you can attack right away with Mo. But either it was like some delay or it's because it was up against the wall. I couldn't, and Janet kills me before I can kill her. Not sure if that's intended or not. But they do walk away with this game. We still play pretty well though, and I think we have comp over them, so that was honestly just a couple misplays by everyone. But anyway, let's head into the next one. Alright, here we are in the next one. Honestly, everyone just kind of made misplays, so it's kind of hard to see how things will go. Like Mr. P didn't grab the gems from the Edgar, my super didn't go off and I died to the Edgar, and Kenshi, instead of killing the Edgar, supered and missed and allowed them to jump away. But we were winning a lot of the time. We had good control. And I just looked to play more aggressive. When I was playing, I know I was significantly better than everybody, except for maybe the Kenji here. So I look to get more aggressive. Carl misses a shot, and he emotes in response. I do a little response to him. Give him a temporary choosh, which allows him to jump. I was close to super, so I bait the Edgar into the jump. And I look to pick up some gems as well because I don't really trust the Mr. P with them. The Edgar and Carl can take him out pretty easily. And right here, I don't know what he's doing. Like, honestly, like, we just need to split and walk backwards. One person to the right, one person to the left. But he kept kind of following me, which allows Janet to get way too much value. And Kenji's all alone and dies in the 2v1, which is expected because me and Mr. P were back there. And now we lose control. But he gets a nice hypercharge super off. I know Edgar's in the bush. I have vision on him. So we still look to hold our control. Not like last game where we gave it up too easily. Edgar does have super. Carl with fire gadget completely whiffs. And I know Mr. P might go down to the Edgar super, so I go to help. But we do end up grabbing this game. Let's head into the next one. Alright, here we are in the next one. We just gotta do the same thing, honestly. Kenji just wins his lane, I win my lane, and we both hold some crazy pressure. Carl on my lane again, not sure what he's doing. He doesn't go for a fire gadget, and when he does, it's too late. And this allows me to win mid for our Mr. P. I just absolutely destroy Carl in that lane. He should not be losing that with his fire gadget. And there's not really much they can do now because we just have insane control. Mr. P should be landing more shots here, but it's whatever. He's playing passive. That's fair too. Janet goes for fly. Not sure what the point of that is. Kenji falls back a bit too much instead of holding his position, which allows him to push in on us. I go for a kill onto the Carl to save our Mr. P, and also go for some damage. And I juke the Janet shot as well as the Edgar and take down the Edgar to save the game. That would have been really nasty. They could have picked up the gems and Janet could have flown away. Or Carl could have supered away. Mr. P gets fired. I look to push in here. I need to be aggressive. I do have super, so I trade with the Carl. Actually, I don't because I wasn't set on fire. And I get Janet low. Kenji wisely chooses not to because Edgar can jump in on him, and we can lose all the gems. It's not great to have gems on Kenji, and we're also pushed back, so we need to push in to get some control. Mr. Key goes for a weird border position. Janet could have kind of easily taken that out against the wall. And again, Kenji can't get too much pressure because he has the gems, and Carl whiffs that gadget. But we are pushing them back because we have lane, and Mr. P goes down to the super Edgar, and we do end up going for the kill. Kenji takes down the Carl, but he should have just regularly attacked him. He had 3.9k HP. He could have easily outlasted until he got one more ammo to kill the Carl. But instead, he goes for the super, which allows them to, keep the gems. And he goes for a hypercharged super on the Janet. Very nice. Carl's low. I look to get the kill. I don't know if I can walk out with these, but I do get my super in time and knock back the Edgar. And now this is looking like a pretty free win. We have all the gems. We're in control. They're low. They're backed up. Only 2 seconds left, and we do end up taking the win. Honestly, pretty intense game, pretty nice. Pretty well played by me and the Kenji. But that's gonna be it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.